Barbie's Dreamhouse Adventures. I have not seen the new Barbie movie, and I really have no interest in it. For some reason, people really like it when I do a Barbie review, as I usually get a lot of requests for it. Now, this is the first time a Barbie game has come to the Switch. In fact, the last time a Barbie game has come to a Nintendo console was back in 2013, and that was another game that used the Dreamhouse as a backdrop for adventure. It was a minigame collection for the Wii U. So you might think this is just a port of the Wii U game, but it's not. They decided to go a completely different direction with this title by not actually making it a game. It's just an interactive tour. This was clearly made for children under 5, as everything is labeled with pictures or voice so people don't have to read anything. It was very simple, and you just click on the question mark button to see how the room might change. There are 4 levels to this house to explore. You can add in people to any of the rooms so they can interact with the items in it, or they can hold certain items. When you put in too many people in a room, the game does start to chug a little. It goes back to normal fairly quickly, but as you're loading people into the game, it was pretty obvious that the game did not like having too many people in the same area. You can add in her sisters, her friends, animals, or even her parents, who I don't remember ever seeing in the previous games. Now, the layout of this house is a little crazy. 2 kitchens, but 1 bathroom for like 6 people, and the bathroom itself had its own oddities. The tub is at the end of a really long bathroom, which I would be totally fine with, but there is no sense of privacy at all. And you might say, well, it doesn't matter if the door is closed. But there is no door! It's just an open room! The same goes for the shower. It's just glass. There's no sense of privacy at all. Also, what is the deal with the side-by-side showers? Is she taking showers with her family next to her? This feels more like a dorm than it does a house. If this was Barbie's college dorm, okay, maybe I would say this is the girl's side and it's okay to have all this craziness. But it is a multi-million-dollar mansion, and it has 1 toilet for 6 people. And that doesn't even count her friends who might live there as well. So let's talk about the toilet for a second. At this point, I have to think people who've never watched my videos before will have the thought of like, is he still talking about the bathroom? And my regular viewers will be thinking, yep, this is pretty normal. I'm sorry, the bathroom just has a crazy design. This whole house has glamour and prestige, but the toilet itself looks like it was jammed into a spare closet. It's so silly looking in comparison to the rest of the house. There was a toilet, an empty shelf, toilet paper, and what I assume is a toilet plunger, and a first aid kit? Or maybe it's a book about the Swiss? Who knows? They did nothing to spruce up this room. It almost feels like it was set up as a shame closet where Barbie will go do her business. The toilet itself has some issues with the plumbing because it will splash all over the place if you try to flush it. And if that's just the bidet, they gotta turn that water pressure down. Because if there's not a drain in the floor, you're gonna be mopping up the wet floors a lot with the amount of people in this house. Okay, I need to move on. The rooms were very large. They all had different things to do in them. There were a few bedrooms to go into, a playroom, a dance room, and on the highest floor it had a pool, which seemed unnecessarily dangerous. Personally, I wouldn't put it in a slide where in order to get to it, you have to walk up a ladder by the edge of a 4-story drop where everyone is wet and slippery. But that's just me. The pool is divided into 2, and I assume one is for swimming and one is for laps. But since both sides look like they have the same depth, also for a house that was extremely impressive in its scale, the pool seemed way too small. I have seen Motel 6 pools that were more impressive in size than this. In each room there is a button for mood lighting, and the tone of the rooms got a little bit creepy. I have no idea why Barbie's parents installed these in each one of the rooms. Even the bathroom. And honestly, I don't really want to know. There are some activities to do, like you could draw or make a quick song. They were all very simplistic. Even when they made something that was a little bit more difficult, like making food, it was more about finding the ingredients in this huge kitchen than making the food itself. In the garden, you could grow crops and trees, which will sprout very quickly, and they will give you different tools to use, but it will automatically change to it. So the menu to change your tools really wasn't necessary other than changing seeds. There really isn't much to this tour. There's a lot of interactive elements, but even if you trigger them all, nothing really happens. The title is over when you decide it's over. There are no timers, there are no goals. What you do is completely up to you. Barbie's Dreamhouse Adventure was not a game, but more of a tour of a rich family's home. It felt like a bit of a downgrade from the actual gameplay of the previous title. The simplicity was good for younger children, but it would be very dull for anyone over 5. If you think this might interest your child, I would say wait for it to go on a very deep sale, or rent it from Gamefly if you can. The appeal of what you could do is going to be a problem for older children, as it is not going to be fun for them. However, I can see the simplicity being good for toddlers. So if you're going to get this, wait for it to go on sale, or even better yet, rent it.